My 13-year-old daughter barely speaks to me anymore. When I try to talk to her, she'd give one-word answers and escape to her room as fast as possible. I thought it was just teenage hormones until a family therapist said something that shattered me. Your daughter isn't pulling away because she's a teenager. She's pulling away because you've been pushing her away for years through habits you don't even realize you're doing. Every day, you send messages that tell her you're not safe, you don't really see her, and your connection with you comes with conditions and criticism. I was devastated because I loved my daughter desperately, but the therapist was right. I was doing 5 common things that slowly, steadily pushed her further and further away from me. Once I understood what these habits were and started changing them, my daughter began opening up again. It took time, but our relationship is closer now than it's been in years. If you feel like your child is emotionally distant and you want to rebuild that connection before it's too late, hit that like button and subscribe right now because these habits are incredibly common, and recognizing them is the first step to changing them. Let me start with the first habit that pushes children away, and it's one I was doing constantly without realizing the damage. The habit is leading with criticism, correction, and control instead of connection. Most of my interactions with my daughter were about what she was doing wrong, what she needed to do, or what I was disappointed about. Did you finish your homework? Why is your room such a mess? You need to practice piano. I don't like that attitude. I was constantly in manager mode, correcting and directing instead of connecting. Even when I tried to have a conversation, I'd sneak in corrections and criticism. What I didn't realize was that every interaction focused on correction instead of connection taught my daughter that I wasn't a safe person to just be with, that coming to me meant being criticized or controlled, and that our relationship was transactional, focused on her performance rather than genuine connection. She started avoiding me because interactions with me felt negative and draining. The fix required a radical shift. I had to consciously lead with connection before any correction. When she came home from school, instead of immediately asking about homework or noticing what was wrong, I'd greet her warmly, ask about her day with genuine curiosity, and spend a few minutes just being together. Only later, after the connection was established, would I address any needed corrections, and I tried to drastically reduce how much I corrected overall. The second habit is making everything about you, your feelings, your needs, your agenda, instead of truly seeing and prioritizing your child's experience. I would do this in subtle ways. My daughter would tell me about something that happened at school, and I'd immediately relate it to my own experience or tell her what I've done. She'd express a feeling, and I'd make it about how her feeling affected me. She'd want to talk about her interests, and I'd steer the conversation to what I wanted to discuss. Every conversation became about me instead of about her. Children need to feel seen and heard for who they are, not just as extensions of their parents. When every conversation gets turned back to you, children learn that their experiences don't matter as much as yours, that they exist to meet your emotional needs, and that you're not actually interested in them. My daughter stopped sharing with me because sharing didn't result in being heard. It resulted in the conversation becoming about me. Now I practice what therapists call active listening. When she shares something, I stay focused on her experience. I ask follow-up questions about her thoughts and feelings, and I don't make it about me. This simple shift has made her so much more willing to open up. The third habit that pushes children away is conditional love and approval, where your warmth, affection, and approval depend on your child's performance, behavior, or meeting your expectations. I would be warm and affectionate when my daughter was doing well, getting good grades, being cooperative, and meeting my expectations. But when she struggled, made mistakes, or disappointed me, I'd withdraw emotionally. I'd be cold, distant, or visibly disappointed. The message was clear. My love and approval are conditional on you being who I want you to be. This creates profound insecurity in children. They learn they have to earn love through performance, that their worth is tied to achievement, and that disappointing you means losing your love. It's exhausting and creates distance because children can never fully relax and just be themselves. They're always performing for approval. I had to work hard to separate behavior from worth and show my daughter that my love is unconditional, even when I'm disappointed in a choice. No, doubly when she messes up, I make sure she knows I still love her, I'm still here, and my feelings about her as a person haven't changed, and even though I'm addressing a behavior. If you're recognizing these patterns and want to repair your relationship, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for more guidance on building a connection. The fourth habit is treating your child as someone to manage and control rather than a person to know and understand. I was so focused on managing my daughter's behavior, controlling her choices, directing her life, but I forgot to actually get to know her as a person. I didn't know her fears, her dreams, what made her feel alive, what she struggled with internally. I knew her schedule, her grades, her activities, but I didn't really know her heart. Children pushed away by this habit feel like projects or problems to solve rather than people worthy of being known and understood. The shift I made was moving from manager to student. I started asking questions with genuine curiosity about who she is. What do you love about music? What does it feel like when you're drawing? What do you think about when you're alone? I stopped assuming I knew her and started approaching her with curiosity about this person she's becoming. This communicated that I value her as an individual, not just as someone whose behavior I need to control. The fifth habit that pushes children away is responding to vulnerability, mistakes, or struggles with lectures, disappointment, or fixing instead of empathy and presence. When my daughter would come to me with a problem or a mistake, my immediate response was to fix it, lecture about what she should have done, or express disappointment. She failed a test, and I'd launch into a lecture about studying. She had friend drama, and I'd immediately tell her what to do. She made a poor choice, and I'd express how disappointed I was. What she needed was empathy and presence, someone to sit with her in the difficulty without immediately jumping to fixing or teaching. When vulnerability and struggles are consistently met with lectures or disappointment, children stop bringing their real problems to you. It's not safe. They handle things alone because sharing means being lectured or disappointing you. Now, when she comes to me with something hard, I lead with empathy. That sounds really difficult. Tell me more. How are you feeling about it? Only after she feels heard do I ask if she wants my thoughts or if she just needed to talk. Usually why she just needs to be heard, and through being heard, she processes and figures things out herself. Comment below honestly, which of these habits do you recognize in yourself? Remember, awareness without shame is how we grow. These 5 habits, leading with correction, making it about you, conditional love, managing instead of knowing, and responding to vulnerability with lectures, don't push children away all at once. It's gradual. Each interaction adds a tiny bit of distance. Your child learns slowly that you're not safe, that connecting with you has costs, that it's easier to keep you at arm's length. But the beautiful truth is these patterns can be reversed. Connection can be rebuilt if you're willing to examine your habits and change them. The work I did to change these 5 habits was some of the hardest personal growth I've ever done, because they were rooted in my own patterns from how I was raised. But the reward has been worth every bit of effort. My daughter and I have a relationship now where she actually wants to spend time with me, where she shares real things and where she trusts me with her struggles. We laugh together, we have inside jokes, we genuinely enjoy each other's company. That connection I thought I'd lost to teenage distance was never actually about her age. It was about my habits, and changing those habits changed everything. If this video helped you see habits that might be creating distance with your child, please share it with another parent. So many of us are accidentally pushing our children away while desperately wanting connection. Drop a comment and tell me which habit you're going to work on changing first, or share your experience with rebuilding connection. And subscribe because we're building a community of parents willing to look honestly at patterns, do the hard work of change, and prioritize real connection over control and performance. Thank you for being here and for caring about your relationship with your child enough to examine these difficult truths. It's never too late to start building the connection you both deserve.